My name is Rebecca Louie. I'm Wakeland's president and CEO. I apologize in advance for my voice, and let's hope it makes it to the end. I'm going to keep it brief, which should be good news for you all. But thank you so much for being here to celebrate this beautiful day with us. I could not be more excited and proud to have you all here today to celebrate this momentous occasion, and it really is one. This is a huge accomplishment to be opening these doors. Like many of you in this room, I think about homelessness a lot. I think about it way more than we should, right? Or maybe we should be thinking about it all the time. I don't even know, but I think about homelessness all the time. I spent the first 40 years of my life hardly thinking about it at all, and now it is something we think about on the daily. I thought about it this morning as I walked out, and I saw an elderly gentleman sleeping on a bench with his walker parked next to him. I think about what that would be like to be so disabled that you need a walker, but then also have no place to sleep, what it would be like to have to sleep on that concrete bench, to have no place to go to rest. I think about what it'd be like to be treated like you're less of a human being just because you've lost the game of musical chairs that is finding a house here in Los Angeles or anywhere that you can afford when you're one of our working poor, or our working poor who can't work anymore, but did not have jobs that take care of them into their old age. I think about all the ways someone can become homeless, the many stories I get gifted with by our formerly homeless residents. The Wilcox is Wakeland's third supportive housing development for seniors here in Los Angeles. We've got a fourth one coming online soon. It's our sixth overall, so I get to meet so many seniors who have experienced homelessness and hear their stories. Stories about people who worked hard their whole lives, most of them, but just at jobs that didn't take care of them, jobs that don't have a retirement plan. We don't have a great healthcare system set up for our people when they reach the ends of their life. Jobs that took a physical toll on their bodies, the jobs that we use every day are hairdressers, construction workers, truck drivers, hard physical jobs, and then what happens at the end? Well, we know, we see it now, right? When I was younger and I would call my dad for money, he would always say, "You're living a little close to the bone, aren't you, kiddo?" When I'd reached that end of the month and didn't have enough. And I think about it all the time when I look around at our working poor, is that the extent to which people have to live close to the bone and have no extra for those things that come up in life, the medical, the things. Do we know this is where they end up? We know that's why our seniors are falling into homelessness at alarming rates. I was looking last night, 40% of the seniors in the United States live purely just on Social Security income. Social Security income in Los Angeles is $1,800 a month. Stop and think for a moment what it would be like to be living here on $1,800 a month, and think about what the rents actually are. Think about what you're seeing in the grocery stores. Think about what you're seeing at the gas pump. And think about $1,800. It's no wonder. It's just no wonder. So I think about these things a lot. I'm super fun at a party, right? But thankfully, on days like today and so many other days of this career that I'm blessed to have, I get to think about the solution and get to think about how lucky I am to be part of it, because this is the solution. The Wilcox homes like this are 61 safe and affordable homes for seniors who are currently experiencing homelessness. We've already moved 45 in to call them home. Today I got to meet David, a 69-year-old former in-home healthcare worker, another hard and necessary job that we need very much, but that doesn't pay well, doesn't take care of people at the end of the job. He spent the last 2 years living in his car. And stop and think about that. Stop and think about the reality. We kind of get casual about it. Oh, I was living in his car. Think about the reality of what it would be like to live in your car. The stress, the uncertainty, the daily trauma, and just the toll on your body. So we're so excited to be able to welcome David to this home where he has a bed, a closet, a kitchen. He said he's just getting settled. I told him, rest. Good Lord. If anyone has earned a little relaxation and rest while you figure out your next steps, please do. He said moving in was a momentous day, and he's really looking forward to his health improving and getting a job. I told him, for now, just please close your door, take a shower, get some sleep. You've earned it. So you've earned it, because without a home, those things aren't going to be possible. You're not going to get healthier without a bed to sleep in at night or a place to keep your medicine. You're not going to find work when your address is a sidewalk. We know these things, right? We know that homes are the answer. We know that projects like this, supportive housing with intensive services to help people recover from the true physical and mental trauma that is homelessness, it is a trauma, are what works to solve this problem, which is why we're here today to celebrate, yeah? And we're going to celebrate all the people, this enormous village of people that made this happen. So our first speaker today is Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. Mayor Bass, I'm so excited to have her here today because she has come on strong in the world of affordable and supportive housing. She is a mayor who came in and said, we need housing and we need it fast. So the last time I was here with her, it was to celebrate her program that's expediting getting projects like these done faster and getting people moved in faster. She's taking it seriously. So I'm super excited to have her here. I'm super appreciative of her get it done attitude. I welcome you. Mayor Bass, please come on up.
Good morning, everyone. I just love starting my day like this. It is wonderful, and let me congratulate you, Rebecca, for your leadership, for your tenacity. It's wonderful to be here today. And in the time you just spent talking about seniors, I think it's so important because it's been reported that one of the fastest growing sectors of the unhoused population are our elders. And it is a scourge on society, the fact that elders wind up unhoused. And you talked about elders who live on Social Security. They don't live in LA. Maybe they live in another state where you could afford housing, but you could never afford housing here on your Social Security check. And I think that it's important because we have to get rid of the stereotype of who are unhoused. And it is a popular view that the unhoused population all have mental illness, all have substance abuse, and all made bad choices in life, and that's why they're unhoused. And that is a lie. It is important to recognize the different sectors, and I think when people understand that our elders are the ones that are unhoused, I think it's going to make people more open to accepting housing in their neighborhoods, especially when they see a beautiful facility like this. I think people in their minds have a view of housing for the unhoused as something that looks bad, that would attract a lot of problems, and that's just not the case. And this facility is proof of that. I also want to thank all of our partners that are here. Of course, our leadership from our councilman, Hugo Soto Martinez, who I am so proud to call my colleague, and his leadership and his commitment around this issue. John from A People's Concern, Doug from HACLA, and then our leader of LAHSA, Dr. Valicia, who is here today. All of us working together is what produces today's ribbon cutting, the fact that people are here. Actually, we were here before for the ribbon cutting, but now people are moving in. And we knew that one of the problems that developers had, I'll tell you, I've heard this over the last 2 years, getting anything done in LA takes forever. There's so much red tape. And so one of the things that we wanted to do with our executive directives was to expedite housing. So in September, I did come to this building to announce that more than 7,000 units of affordable housing had been expedited in the first 9 months of this year, including the one that we're at today. So it brings me great joy to be here at the Wilcox less than 2 months later to see Angelenos moving in on the expedited process. We cannot let up, and it just can't take 6 to 9 months to get a simple approval. So Angelenos would not be moving inside this building this month if we had not done the executive directive, because it's urgency that is needed. Approval processes that used to take place 6 months are now taking 47 days. So other projects that weren't going to be ready until 2025 are going to come online next year. When we expedite projects, we save lives and we save money at the same time. But it really is ridiculous if you think that while we have 40,000 Angelenos sleeping outside and 5 of them dying each day, that we would allow bureaucracy to delay building. So this is over. We can no longer do this in our city, and I'm just very, very proud to be here. And I know in a bit I'll be able to meet some of the residents. But again, Rebecca, thank you so much for your leadership. And then I have something for you. We'll exchange.
All right. I think we're supposed to.
Oh.
Here we go.
Away from the podium. We know how to do this. Mine to you? For the Wilcox. Where? Got it? Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Bass. It's wonderful. Our next speaker is Los Angeles Housing and Development Department Assistant General Manager, my good friend Daniel Nguyen. LAHD provided $5.2 million in HHH funds to the Wilcox. I mean, that HHH program, game changer in Los Angeles. You go for a walk, anytime you see a beautiful building, a beautiful new building, it's an HHH building, 100%. Like, you can go up and be like, oh, I know that one, I know that one, I know that one. It's been a game changer in the city of Los Angeles, and we really owe it to Daniel and the rest of his department for making it happen. So, Daniel, come on up.
All right. Thank you, Rebecca. Good morning, solutions makers, change makers. My name is Daniel Nguyen. I am the Assistant General Manager at the Los Angeles Housing Department. Ansel, our General Manager, unfortunately couldn't make it. Just want to take a moment to congratulate Wakeland. I've known Rebecca for over a decade, and just to see the amount of work and the amazing work that's been done, it is something to definitely celebrate. This is one of 105 HHH projects that will be in construction or completed, 6,600 units. There's actually one down the block on Santa Monica in Vermont. So Rebecca, it's indeed true. We can't walk around the city without seeing so many amazing developments that have been funded by HHH. And this helps to fulfill the promise that we made to voters in 2016 that $100 million a year could expand our supportive housing production from 300 to 1,000 units a year. We will exceed that number by 1,000 units, leveraging dollars even further so that HHH commitments that is going for 135,000 a unit instead of the 150,000 units, and we'll complete all of the 10,000 units that we promised in 2 years earlier than we had expected. We are now seeing these developments come online every 10, 14 days after the hard work of all of our development partners, and it's really amazing to see. We are helping to get heads on pillows to help those who are unhoused. This is extremely exciting. I am very thankful to Rebecca and Wakeland for actively working towards bettering lives and building community. They are great at this work. It really takes a village approach. It's commendable given high interest rates, supply chain issues during COVID, all the things I'm seeing Rebecca nervously laugh about, and volatility, and having an organization like Wakeland be able to bring stability to the work. This development meets a lot of objectives. It's infill development, it's transit-oriented development, it's just walking distance, it's equitable, it pays living wage jobs, it addresses climate change, it's LEED gold, and most importantly, it ends homelessness, and that's super important. This work could not have been possible without the leadership of Mayor Bass, Councilmember Soto Martinez. It would also, I want to take a moment to show gratitude to my staff, Liz Selby, Georgina Tamayo, Diane Mattingly, who's here for working on this transaction. Thank you for delivering 61 units of affordable housing, permanent supportive housing, and thank you for building hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, next up, we have the Housing Authority of the City of LA, President and CEO Doug Guthrie. So HACLA provided project-based vouchers that ensure every one of the 61 residents living here will have affordable rent. So when someone moves in and they have a voucher, they're paying 30% of their income towards rent, which really is what people should pay towards rent. We realized nobody does. That's a long ago, long lost statistic. I don't know a single person who pays 30% of their income. It's not even supposed to be just for rent. It's housing costs, like including utilities and stuff. It's unheard of. But with vouchers, it's possible. So they get to actually come in. If their income goes up, their rent goes up. Goes down. It makes all the sense in the world, and we're just so excited to have HACLA's support on this. So welcome, Doug.
That's my staff out there that initiated that applause, but I still appreciate it. And I too want to congratulate you, Rebecca. We in this business know how hard this is. These sorts of developments just don't sprout and come up. They take a lot of hard work by a lot of people and a lot of partners to make these happen. And so congratulations to you. And as you said, I know you've got yet another development scheduled to come online this calendar year, the Quincy, that we will work with you on to the best of our ability as well. And as was mentioned, this development has 61 project-based vouchers. For those of you not in the industry that may not understand the importance of that, what a project-based voucher is, it's a 20-year contract to provide operating subsidies to these developments. So it's one thing to build them and the cost that goes with that. It's another thing to operate them. And so project-based vouchers are core of operations to make these developments happen. And I've got to tell you, HACLA's been doing a lot of these. We now have over 200 projects that we've done with project-based vouchers. I would say that's probably 190 more than the next city that's using project-based vouchers. I mean, that's how aggressive and progressive the city of Los Angeles has been. That's for a total of just over 15,000 units. So we've been doing this, and of course accelerated with Triple H, but before Triple H and next to Triple H, and we've been very aggressive on Project Home Key sites. That we're still competing in the third round of Project Home Key, and so hope to be able to do more of this as well. And Council Member, we know your progressive stance on affordable housing issues, which is to be lauded. I wanted to let you know that we've committed or have constructed almost 1,200 units in your council district of permanent supportive housing, which is a lot and which is great. I also wanted to compliment, of course, Felicia, the work she's doing at LAHSA, the energy she's brought there. It's really critical, of course, for LAHSA to do the screening, to bring in referrals that we can then process and get housed. Of course, John, we have an extensive relationship with the people concerned. And the people concerned is our service provider at a number of our developments, including Project Home Key developments. Daniel is just terrific to work with at LAHD. And so we've got a close working relationship with him. Two of my key staff, Tim Young and Christine Kachatrian here, handle our project-based vouchers. And so they kind of mingle with all of you out here to be problem solvers. And LaQuina, are you in the back there? Oh, you're on the side. LaQuina brought her staff along. She does all the labor compliance reviews on behalf of the Housing Authority as well. And of course, Eric Brown, everybody knows Eric as our Director of Intergovernmental Affairs. And so it takes a lot of people to do this. And once more, I'll just congratulate the folks that have done this. And I look forward to more developments like this. So heaven only knows the need is out there, and we've got to do it better, faster, more efficiently, and that is our goal with the charge of Mayor Bass, who really laid it down on day one and said, you're gonna be better at this than what you've been. I know there's no lack of trying, but you've got to become more efficient. You've got to house people quicker. I want people in my In my program of interim housing, I want them to have the promise of moving out of interim housing into permanent housing. So it feels like daily we hear from Mayor Bass about trying to solve problems and do a much better job. So I had a speech all ready for her, but she left. But that's okay. But again, thank you very much, Rebecca and team. Thank you.
Yeah, I will say just an aside, so nobody complains about bureaucracy more than me. Impossible to. But it has been really impressive seeing. I mean, it's not LA's fault. There's just so many agencies and there's so many people and so many overlapping things. So it's been really, really fun to see like actual progress taking place. You know, of just where everyone is working together and finding ways to get around these regulations that are often, we don't even know where they come from. They just like live out there in the ether and we're constrained by them. And so to see these agencies coming together and see the caring that goes into trying to tackle it and really make it work, I'm going to take my day off from complaining and just give a solid, great job to everyone. Done a great job. So speaking of, next up, we have the LA Homeless Services Authority CEO, Dr. Felicia Adams-Kellum. All the residents are here thanks to LAHSA's coordinated entry system, which provides a pathway home for our unhoused Angelenos. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Welcome.
A day without complaining. I don't know what that's like. So good to see everyone. It's an honor to be here. I spent so much of my last 15 years working with my friend John Masseri to try our best to end homelessness here and address it in a way that's humane and kind. I'm so happy to see all the staff from People Concern and to continue this work. And I thank you, Council Member, for your leadership and making sure we stay on the right path to get people housed. Doug, it's been an honor to work with you. I've worked with you in many capacities, but now we have to work together to reduce bureaucracy. And Rebecca, thank you. When I was at St. Joe's, I think we were working on some of these deals, and so to be on the other side of it is very interesting and challenging, and I know we're up for the challenge. One of the things that you heard from the mayor is that we had to coordinate to get amazing people and the work to go forward here in this building and to get folks in swiftly. And it was one of her directives that has inspired us to do this. And so the role of LAHSA is that active system management. I mean, but the first thing and most important thing is for us to recognize aspects of our bureaucracy that we are a part of that slow things down. And you have to own that first, and then you have to address it. And so one of the things that's helped speed up the process of getting people into this building so swiftly and in a way like never before is what we call, as I said, active system management, making sure people who already have their documents ready are first in line, making sure we have, instead of one person lined up for the door, we have 2 or 3 folks, and now we're ready for the next building and the next building. And so we just are doing what we know that all of you are needing us to do, that this crisis requires, that Mayor Bass and the Board of Supervisors have said it is a crisis, it is an emergency, and we must respond accordingly. This building represents the solution to all the pain and suffering that we see on the streets. That the mayor and I have been working together with the Board of Supervisors to address street homelessness, unsheltered homelessness. John Masseri is one of the first to take on encampments and move people from encampments inside. We know that when there's an interim stop, when someone goes from an encampment into interim housing, they need a place like this to call home long term. That's what it means to be successful in this work of ending the suffering and the crisis on the streets. And it takes all of us working together, each of us doing our work, but not waiting for the baton to pass, but already starting our work so that when that baton comes, we're already running down the pathway and ready to pass it on to the next. So it's an honor to be a part of this work, and there's so much more we have to do. We have to get so much better at this. But I think it's just not saying we did it here, that we want to keep getting better. We want to keep analyzing. We need to use our data to inform what's working and what's not. And I thank you all for being here. I appreciate the commitment. And, you know, sometimes the complaints help keep us on the right track. So we're hearing those, and we want those to decrease as we get better and better. So thank you all. I appreciate it.
You didn't want to encourage my complaining, but don't worry, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back with complaining tomorrow. So next, I'm super excited to introduce John Masseri, the CEO of the People's Concern. So you can't just move people into housing like this and say, okay, we're done. That's that, you know. Sorry you spent all those years in just utter trauma on the streets. You know, here you go, welcome back to life. The services are such an important part, and they've got to be great, and they've got to be done by caring people who treat the people who move in here like human beings and recognize their humanity and approach them with compassion. And it's really important to me. It's really, really important to me that from day one, when people move into our buildings, they are treated welcome human being. We're so excited to have you here. And I think it's why our buildings are such a success, why our communities, why Wakeland's communities work, is because they are packed full of caring people. And a huge part of those caring people are the people that come like from the People Concern and our service providers who are here working with the residents every day, putting their hands on their arms as they talk to them, showing them the way forward, acknowledging what they've been through. And so we're just so excited to have you here, and welcome, John.
Well, thank you, Rebecca, and it's really a privilege to be here today. Several of the speakers touched on a couple things that I want to underscore in this work. The first is collaboration. Projects like this don't just happen. It takes more than a village. I would say it takes an army of people. So hats off to Rebecca and the Wakeland team for sticking through all the brain damage, and there's a lot of it, to get us to a day like this. So kudos to all of you. The second is tenacity, which is kind of the flip side of collaboration, I think, for all of us that are in this work, that you really have to stick to it, both in terms of building meaningful relationships with the people that will potentially be residents here, all the way through all the hurdles that the people that we serve have to overcome in order to end up in a beautiful home like this. So here's to tenacity and collaboration. The People Concern is honored to be the service provider here. I really want to take a minute to acknowledge the on-site supportive services staff here, who are going to have already been working to move the first 45 residents in, and will be working on the last 16 as they find their way to permanent housing. It's really been a privilege to be your partner. This is not the first project we've done together, and hopefully it won't be the last. To all the funders who have preceded me here at the podium, and to everyone who's been a part of this development, I just want to say thank you. Those of us in the trenches every day are often the advocates and the voices for people who are often forgotten and lost in the shuffle. And today is a good reminder, certainly for me, and I think for all of us in this work, why we do this really hard work. Whether it's on the direct services side, whether it's on the policy side, on the funders side, it really takes everyone collaborating together to get us to a day like this. So thank you for letting us be a part of this.
So we met with John when Wakeland was prior to Wakeland becoming a supportive housing developer, when we were just doing family projects, we met with John, and he told us then, like, sure, this is going to be really hard. Like, this is really hard work, and it is, but it's easily the most rewarding thing we've ever done. So next up is my friend, Richmond Group Executive Vice President Terry Gentry. So Richmond provided approximately $14.5 million in equity to develop the Wilcox, and these are challenging projects to fund. Again, every step of the way. I don't know if you're hearing the message here, but every step of the way is a little bit hairy and requires a lot of collaboration and flexibility, and the equity is no different. So Terry?
Well, I stand before you, a fortunate person. I'm firstly fortunate to work with this amazing team. Thank you for the Wakeland team and trusting us, being your partner. There were many calls where we had to work through. Taylor, thank you for being understanding. Peter, for leadership. It's really quite inspiring. Second, I'm thankful that in New York Community Bank is the investor in this project. And as most of you know, there was a major disruption in the banking community as we were working on these. And the banking community provides the majority of the tax credit equity in the industry. And New York Community Bank stepped up, and there was no problems, no hitches in the finance. So really want to give a thank you to New York Community Bank. Third, I'm fortunate to be part of the economic development that this housing represents. Besides providing amazing homes for the residents, it creates economic development for the community. $26 million of economic development to the community. Residents spending $7 million a year. 155 jobs were created by this. So not only is it the right thing to do for our community, but it provides benefit. The next thing that I'm fortunate about as I stand here is somebody that grew up in extreme poverty. That included housing instability with periods of time being homeless. I remember doing homework in the bus station and trying to somehow dig my way out of this. Like, somebody's got to give me a break. And working hard, I did that. And part of that is having a safe, affordable home to live in. So when we talk about, the impact that it has, I know that from a firsthand experience, what it means. The next thing that I'm fortunate is that I get to share this moment with my oldest son, and Angeleno, and my daughter-in-law. So thank you so much. And lastly, I'd like to say to the residents, welcome home.
Thanks, Terry. Thanks for sharing that with us. Next up, another of our big funders, California Bank and Trust Senior Vice President Steve Herman. California Bank and Trust provided a construction loan of approximately $20 million and a perm loan of another $4 million to this project. My staff have said that you guys have been absolutely wonderful to work with. High compliments, and we appreciate anything that makes this go a little bit easier. So we're just so happy you could be here, and welcome, Steve.
Thank you, Rebecca, this sort of reminds me, and I think you've heard a lot already earlier, that what an old manager of mine used to say. He said, "I love it when a plan comes together," and today is great evidence of a terrific plan coming together. All the partners that have come to the table to make this a reality for so many deserving folks that are going to live here and call the Wilcox home. I'm pinch hitting today. The folks that did the heavy lifting unfortunately couldn't be here today, but I have a great staff. Mark Wolf, who couldn't be here, Alicia Applebaum. I also want to thank my disbursement group, who keeps the funds flowing. They often get overlooked, but those are the folks that are balancing the budgets and sort of reconciling the numbers. And so really want to thank them as well. But, you know, and you guys have heard it, I mean, the partners to make something like this happen, you know, whether it's HACLA, LAHSA, the people concerned, the city of LA, it's a team effort. And, you know, it's I feel like I've spent the last 6 to 8 months, I call myself the fixer. It's like Harvey Keitel, Pulp Fiction. You know, because there are a lot, I mean, we all know the wolf. We all know what's happened with, you know, in the banking world, rates have gone through the roof. These deals are very complicated and difficult to push over the finish line. And so a lot of things have to get retooled. This is a deal, this is a transaction, this is the result of a project that really there wasn't a whole lot of drama. And everybody likes to watch drama, but you don't like it when you're in the middle of it. And so my hat's off and congratulations to the Wakeland team. It's an honor for us to be involved in this effort. This is our first transaction with Wakeland, and I know it won't be the last. So thank you so much, Rebecca.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, we're getting there. We've got a lot of speakers today. It's a big, big, big village project. Oh, yay. Next up is Wakeland's project manager, Audrey Hahn. Audrey's one of our newest employees. She works here in our LA office, our little-known LA office that we have. And she's really hit the ground running, and she's been really integral in this project, and she's going to talk about some of the rest of our team. So, Audrey, where are you? Oh, you're good. I was like, I'm missing you there. Welcome.
Okay, I'm a slightly taller thanks to my boots. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for coming this morning on this Monday morning. And this morning is a very special day. As what was shared, this is our Wakeland's newest supportive housing project here in East Hollywood, and we're super excited to have everyone here. As Wilcox's project manager, as Rebecca said, I was honored to be managing the day-to-day work on this project, and I had the opportunity to work closely with some of the most incredible people, individuals, professional individuals, and teams that just made today happen. And thanks to their hard work, we're able to be in the process of continuing to move folks in today. And as I look at the Wilcox, I'm proud to see a beautiful, a colorful, and high-quality place where 61 folks could call home, 61 seniors. And we all know very well, as what was shared, that is a huge need in this area. And like what was already said, it takes a village, it takes an army to do this work. So I want to take this time to thank a number of people, so please bear with me with this long and robust list. So I want to thank first FSY Architects, Walton Construction, AMJ Construction, Breen Design Group, RBE Engineers, DK Engineering Corp., RJC Group, Layton and Associates, Urban Testing and Inspections, the IL Lear and Landscape Architects, Placed Interior Design, Butler Human Services, California Housing Partnership, Circle Partners, Craig Lawson and Company, Commonwealth Land Title, and of course the Wakeland team. And for those I might have missed today, and I want to give a special shout out today to the Small and Mighty LA team, which includes Taylor, who entrusted me to take on this project as one of my first actually at this phase of the project, so it's pretty emotional seeing folks move in. I want to give a special thank you to Emma and RT in our Wakeland team, who has managed to really make a really smooth process with all the monthly draws with all of our partners. And I want to give a thank you to Lisa, our asset manager, who has been a rock star moving in. Within the first 2 weeks, we passed, I think like the first 1.5 weeks, we passed the 50% mark on move-ins, which is unheard of. And we hope to just move the rest. So thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, happy Monday. And I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. Thank you.
Okay, last but not least of our speakers, Councilmember Hugo Soto Martinez. Since taking office less than a year ago, the council member has it his top priority to find solutions to end homelessness, and his office has been doing an incredible job at it. So like you're saying, you guys have done some serious accomplishments. I'm going to let you speak to them, so that we can save my voice. But seriously, getting stuff done. He and his talented team have been really focused on affordability, and we're just so happy to have him here today. So welcome. Come on up.
Wow, look at this big crowd. I didn't see how big the crowd was from the front. Well, I want to say thank you so much to everyone who's here today. Audrey gave a long list of people who were part of it, so I just want to say I agree with everything that you said on that list. I don't want to repeat so many folks, but it is truly about collaboration, and as someone who didn't work in city government until just 11 months ago, the need for collaboration cannot be overstated. It's absolutely necessary. But we know that when we have people collaborating, the most important piece is you have to have a quarterback, you have to have a general manager, because the buck has to stop with somebody. And so today I want to uplift Wakeland, Rebecca Louie, and Audrey and their work, because at some point someone has to take charge. And that's what they did today to make this project happen. So let's please give them an amazing round of applause. And I think the comments that you made, Rebecca, when you opened, it got me a little bit emotional. And I don't know if you saw me, I was like kind of like deep in my emotion, because as you were saying that, I was reminded of all the many people that I have worked with in my previous career as a union organizer. And when you do that, you literally go into the homes of some of the most poor people in the city. And I cannot say how many 60, 70-year-olds I have met in my life who tell me, I cannot stop working because I cannot afford it. And I've seen many of those people sustain an injury, lose a loved one, or lose a job, and I don't know what happened to them. Many of them can't find a job because they're a little bit older. And so I'm sure many of them are going to be here living today. And that sort of circle moment got me really emotional. And when we deal with this particular issue, we're talking about folks that are 55 or older experiencing homelessness. But we know that the number one reason for women that become homeless is because of domestic violence. We know that our city is only 8% black, yet they represent about over 30% of the homeless population. And so when we look at the larger issues of homelessness, we're dealing with an economic system that does not work for working people. We're talking about systemic racism, and we're talking about patriarchy. No big deal, right? No big deal. But we'll solve it. We'll get to it. But today it's about celebrating those small victories. It's those small victories that sustain many of us here. It certainly sustains me. And so today, I hope folks have a tone of celebration, because we should celebrate what this. Ooh. So the winds of hate are coming to blow us down. But I hope we celebrate what it is today, because I think many of the folks working on this, all the different partners, whether you help economically or push the documents in City Hall, we are folks that are saying we're not going to curse the darkness. We're going to light a candle to this issue, because our work is rooted in love. It's rooted in community and really trying to make a positive change in society. So today we get to celebrate everyone rowing in the same direction. And I hope we get to meet some of our new neighbors here, and let's just joy, let's have celebration, because this work is hard and we have to always come from a place of joy and celebration. So I hope we enjoy the day today. And again, thank you so much, Rebecca, for the amazing work. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. It's the first time I've heard the patriarchy on that list, and I'm in love with it. I will be adding it to my list from here on out, absolutely, of things we can attribute this to. Okay, I want to recognize a couple special guests that are in the audience, and I know I'm going to leave all kinds of people out, but I know Daniela Urbina, Senior Advisor to Supervisor Hilda Solis, is here somewhere. And then we have Josh Hamilton and CB Bass from Century, who provided us acquisition funding, almost $1 million, to help us get this ball rolling on this project way back when. This has been kind of a fast one. And then finally, I want to thank my Wakeland staff. I keep getting thanked. I haven't lifted a finger. I am purely where the buck stops. I've done none of the hard work as opposed to this. 100% that is my team. So we have our Director of Development, Taylor Holland, who worked diligently to get this project done from beginning to end, responsible for a lot of the beautiful design touches you see. She's got an attention to detail. I would not want to be the construction team coming in when Taylor starts seeing things that were wrong and needs to be changed. She's got an eye. Our asset manager, Lisa Cuvo, who's unfortunately out with COVID right now, I believe, but worked so hard getting this project leased up. It is not easy. Our VP of Operations, Trista Tosto-Levine. Our VP of Real Estate Development, Peter Armstrong. Our VP of Business Development, David Hetherington. Our CFO, Joan Edelman. Our Controller, Justin Chavez. The entire accounting team, and really, honestly, every single person at Wakeland gets their fingers involved in these at one point or another. It really is. I want to say a huge thank you to our property management team from Con-Am Management. We pay a lot of attention to the services that take place, but the people who are here the most, day after day after day, are our property managers. And we're lucky we always get the most caring people as well, who are in not only keeping us out of trouble in the compliance department, but again, I always say it, that hand on the shoulder, the look in the eyes, the welcoming people in. It is why Wakeland has a 96% retention rate at our supportive housing properties. It is why people come and stay and thrive. It's not just the beautiful design, it helps, but it's the people, it's how they're treated. It's that they get to move in and think, this is my home. This is my home where I deserve to live, and I'm going to stay here. Thank you.